The science of fat burning, busting myths and maximizing results. Ready to finally crack the code on fat loss? Forget the fad diets and confusing advice. We're diving deep into the science of fat burning to reveal the truth about how your body sheds those extra pounds. Let's start with the basics. When we talk about fat, we talk about adipose tissue. These terms are often used interchangeably, so don't get tripped up. Adipose tissue isn't just one big blob. It's strategically located throughout your body. You'll find it in the hypodermis, the subcutaneous layer deep beneath your skin. It also surrounds your organs and even resides within the liver. Believe it or not, some fat is stored in your skeletal muscles. For our purposes, we'll focus on the subcutaneous layer, the fat that sits right under your skin. This layer affects how visible your muscles are. The thinner this layer of adipose tissue, the easier it is to see your muscles. Think biceps or the coveted rectus abdominis, the six-pack. Here's a little secret. Everyone has a six-pack. The visibility of those abs depends on the thickness of the subcutaneous adipose tissue. Is there a fat-burning zone? This question has plagued fitness enthusiasts for years. Let's explore it. During exercise, your body primarily uses two energy sources, carbohydrates and fats. The ratio of carbohydrates to fats varies depending on the intensity of your workout. For example, you might burn 70% fat and 30% carbs at a lower intensity. Crank the intensity, which could shift to 80% carbs and only 20% fat. The initial thought is often, I need to find the exercise where I burn the highest fat percentage. But hold on a second. The highest percentage of fat burned often occurs when you're at rest. Think about it. But sitting on the couch all day isn't an effective fat-burning strategy. So what's the deal? Let's examine how exercise intensity influences fat versus carb utilization. Imagine a chart showing data from a man in his 40s training for a marathon. The pattern holds for everyone, though. At any given intensity, we can look at the percentage of energy from fat, the percentage of energy from carbs, the total calories burned, and the calories from fat versus calories from carbs. This person is slightly above the rest at 72 BPM. They burn 78.2% of their energy from fat and 21.8% from carbs. The knee-jerk reaction is, I want to be here. But wait, the total calories burned are only 1.4. That's 1.1 from fat and 0.3 from carbs. Now let's increase the intensity to 127 BPM. Fat utilization drops to 40.8%, while carbs increase to 59.2%. But the total calories burned jump to 11.5. That's 4.7 calories from fat. So even though the percentage of fat burned is lower, you're burning more fat overall. If we push even more challenging to 138 BPM, fat utilization continues to drop and carbs increase. The total calories burned are now 13.4, with 5.0 calories from fat. At 145 BPM, fat utilization drops further, carbs increase, and the total calories burned are 14.2, with 4.4 calories from fat. Finally, during sprinting, high intensity, you're primarily relying on carbohydrates, almost 100%. So, the highest amount of fat burned is what we technically call the fat burning zone. But should you focus all your training on staying in this zone? And how do you even get into this zone? Your heart rate and fat burning zone depend on several factors, including your age, genetics, gender, and fitness status. This fat burning zone resembles what endurance athletes call Zone 2. In Zone 2, your heart is pumping, you're sweating, but you can still hold a conversation, the talk test. For the exercise physiology nerds, this is roughly a blood lactate level of about 2.0. But is this the most significant influence on losing fat? The answer is no, not really. The total calories burned are more important than the specific carb-fat ratio. Spending time in Zone 2 has benefits, but calorie expenditure is key. In one study, researchers compared low-intensity Zone 2 exercise to high-intensity exercise. They adjusted the exercise time to match the total calories burned. The result, both groups lost fat at the same rate. The conclusion is clear. Total caloric expenditure is the main focus for fat loss. High-intensity exercise has its pros and cons. Some people genuinely enjoy it, and it's undoubtedly time efficient. However, it also carries a higher risk of overtraining. Plus, you might miss out on some of the unique benefits of Zone 2 training. Low-intensity exercise, Zone 2, offers cardiovascular benefits. It also leads to unique physiological adaptations. For example, it increases the number of capillaries in your muscle tissue, leading to more blood flow. It also causes your muscle cells to increase their mitochondria, the powerhouses that utilize fats and carbs for energy. These mitochondria also get better at utilizing fats for energy, which can shift the fat-carb utilization ratio over time, e.g., from 37.4% fat to 45% fat at a given intensity. But remember, the limitation is that you still need to focus on calories for fat loss. Endurance training also has other benefits. During endurance events, your body can utilize more fat, sparing your limited carbohydrate stores, around 2,000 calories. Fat storage, on the other hand, is much larger, up to 100,000 calories. Technically, there is a fat-burning zone, but it's not the most important thing for fat loss. Focus on overall caloric expenditure, the total calories you burn. Why does burning more carbs still work? It's due to excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, EPOC, which occurs when your body ramps down slowly after exercise. This creates an oxygen debt, and your body needs to replenish ATP energy. Aerobic mechanisms utilize fats to replenish that ATP. The ideal plan depends on your fitness goals. If you're focused on strength training, include cardiovascular fitness, Zone 2. If you're focused on endurance training, include strength training and high-intensity intervals. But the most important thing is consistency. Find an exercise you enjoy. Be consistent with it. Then tweak and refine as necessary. Can you influence where your body pulls fat from? For example, can you do crunches to reduce fat around your rectus abdominis? The answer is no. Fat distribution is primarily decided by genetics. Building muscle might make it more visible, but it doesn't target fat loss in that area. Ready to take control of your fat loss journey? Start by tracking your daily calorie intake for 1 week to understand your baseline. Then, explore different exercise modalities, both high intensity and Zone 2, to find what you enjoy and can consistently incorporate into your routine. I hope you learned something cool today. Like and subscribe for more science-backed fitness tips. Leave a comment below with your questions. See you in the following video.